Hey there, welcome to Prairie Exotics. My name's Steve, and this is Shar. And we're going to introduce you to a couple of animals. Most of these are my pets. Many of them have been surrendered from the general public, Animal Services, Humane Society. Some of these animals take a lot of care. Others are pretty simple, and we're going to learn some of the different facts to taking care of these animals. Introduce you to some of them that are really some of my favorites, but also some that make good pets again, and then others that are not so much, because we want to steer you away from animals that aren't going to be a good addition to your family. One of the first animals I started with, and my favorite, is actually the bearded dragon. So I'm going to bring one out here for a second. Now this is my little buddy Griffin. And Griffin here, he's a bearded dragon. You can give him a pet if you want on his back. He comes from Australia. He's in the dragon family of lizards. And well, we can see he's got a big lovely beard under here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what he likes to show off for the ladies, what he does kind of like when I flex my muscles, is he'll actually puff out his chin like a big balloon. It turns black, jet black. Even if the dragon comes in like orange, red, yellow, green, brown, whatever color it might be, it puffs right out and does a head bob. It's pretty funny. He'll actually start bobbing his head up and down, back and forth. If you do little push-ups, little push-ups up and down to show how strong they are. And if the girls see that, I think it's kind of cool. They'll actually start to throw their hands up in the air. They wave them like they just don't care. They dance back and forth. It's pretty funny to watch them move it around. But if they don't like those boys being silly, this tail actually turns into a weapon. They'll use it as a whip, try and hit them with it, back off. Yeah. Or they'll even puff out like a bufferfish. They'll take a big breath, puff out, and then all these spikes here, you'll see they kind of move back and forth. But what they can do is once they're puffed out, they're not going to get picked up like that. Or if someone's trying to eat them, all those puff spiky parts are not going to help them.
I've never seen one that color before.
Yeah. Do you want to try holding it? Yeah. The best thing is just support the front legs and the back legs there.
I've actually held one of these.
Yeah?
So I'm not too scared of these guys.
Yeah, Griffin's been with us for about 6 months. He was a surrender that came in. The kids got him when they were like 12 or 13. Now they're off in high school, got their license, playing with their boyfriend or girlfriend, whichever it was. And now mom and dad felt a little bad that Griffin was just sitting in the basement.
Yeah, you needed somebody to care for you.
So yeah, he's come with us. He comes out to schools, daycares, birthdays, all sorts of special events, educating people on how to take care of them. And they're a little bit to get started with. They're like a little bit of money because they do need a larger enclosure. They eat quite a bit. But once they're set up, it's not too bad. And we'll do a little focus on these guys a little bit later on a creature feature, sort of how to take care of them, the ins and outs of them.
Yeah, they're pretty popular pet.
They are very popular. They live like 15 to 20 years if they are taken care of properly. For breakfast, do you think you had a big plate of bacon, eggs, and toast like I did?
Probably fruit.
Well, yeah, actually fruits, veggies, salads for the breakfast.
Okay.
Lunch and supper's when they eat the gross stuff. Crickets, cockroaches, worms, even some little mice for a snack once in a while.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Not too often, though. Okay. In the summer, I actually take him to the park. He's got a little leash and a collar, try to walk him like a puppy, but people just point and laugh because they got a lazy lizard on a leash not doing anything. So often what I'll do is I'll pick him up, and like my parents, like a pirate's got their bird, I got my bearded dragon on the shoulder. I'll walk around the park for a little bit, but after a bit, if he gets bored, especially wearing a hat, I find he usually often ends up on my head for a better view.
Keeps you warm.
Yeah, and then people definitely point and laugh, and I gotta hope he doesn't poop and make a mess while he's up there. So, yeah, we'll put him back in his little box down here for a second.
And he's like, I want to go.
Now, we just bring them in a little transport box to visit, but at our zoo, his enclosure is big enough I can climb into it. But my next friend
the thing I saw moving around down there
happens to be in a pill. What do you think might be in here? It's long and round. It feels like an elephant's trunk. I think it's a baby elephant.
Oh my goodness, I'd be thrilled.
Well, it'd have to be a micro elephant, I guess, to be this size. But let's see. I can't remember. Did I pack this or did Simon? Let's see who's in here. 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey there. Are you a friendly snake at least? Okay, thanks for not biting me in the face. Okay, yeah. No, she said she's good.
All right.
This is my friend Kahlua. So we transport the snakes in the pillowcase because it's dark, it's smooth, it's easy and warm.
And it has princesses on it, which I love.
It does have a beautiful princess on it. So Kahlua here, she's called a ball python because when she gets scared, like some people might be a little scared of snakes, she'll actually roll up into a ball and protect her head in the center and say, if I can't see you, you're not there. I'm nice and safe. But Kahlua comes out to do education all the time, so she's not scared at all, likes to come and meet new people.
Used to it.
Yeah. She's also called a royal python because in Africa we found royalty would wear them as a nice necklace for a night on the town. Or even as a bracelet, but can you imagine trying to run around and play with a bracelet like that's not gonna really work. Here, you can try holding her.
Okay.
So for bracelets, they actually use little babies.
Oh my gosh.
Want to guess how old she is?
10.
Close. She's actually pushing 20 years old now.
20 years old?
Yeah, I got her when she was about
Looking
16.
Good.
Yeah.
What's your secret?
And she can live 35 to 40 years, but won't get any bigger. She's been this big since she's about 3 or 4. So she's not like the big reticulated pythons or the Burmese that get like 20 feet, 200 pounds. Yeah, go for it. She's just nice and gentle.
If it poops on me, are we going to cut that part?
Yeah, we'll cut that out. She should be good though because you know what? She only eats once a month. Every 4 or 5 weeks, I thaw a big rat the size of both of my fists. She eats it whole, and she digests over about a week, goes to the bathroom, and then she's good for another month. So she's actually very clean.
Ooh.
Yeah, make sure she's got a warm spot to go and digest, a little hide to hide under, some water to drink, and she's good to go. Very easy to take care of.
Amazing.
Yeah. Huh. Now, do you think she's just a big tail with a face, or does she maybe have body parts?
I see no body parts.
Oh, she definitely does. No arms or legs, obviously, but after her beautiful face on her head, she's got a long neck. Her neck's actually about this long.
Okay.
The body is the biggest long part. That's where all the organs are, like the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, stomach along down here.
Okay.
And lastly, her tail is actually just this little bit. And you can tell because it gets really narrow here, and that's the bum that you were touching.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, she's got a clean snake's bum because not too often.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see if she wants to do some tricks for us here on the table, although she might just want to slither away. I can often usually get her to sit, lay down, even play dead, but it doesn't look like that with all the lights. She's kind of in go mode right now. We'll see if she wants to roll over, though. Nope, not so much. She's just in explore mode.
Move.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, is she gonna fall?
No, she's got strength. Like, watch this. We can even hang her from the front of the table, even just by the tip of her tail, and she can hang on to there. She'll either try going all the way down or might come up. Oh, she's going down. We'll pull her back up.
Interesting.
So she's really clean. My next friends are not so clean, and they're actually up right behind me here. Yeah, if you want to hold that princess pillowcase open, we'll pop her down in there. Thank you very much. Tie her up so she doesn't get loose here in the studio. So my friends are up in, let's do you. Let's grab these guys. Whoop. I'll grab two. We'll grab Larry and Jerry here.
Okay.
There's about 4 more in there, I think, though. Now we're going to limit the handling on these because these guys are amphibians. Okay. So they don't breathe through just their nose and mouth like we do. They actually breathe through their skin, too. That's why they have to stay wet. If they were dry, it'd be like suffocating them. Okay. So that's why we have to reduce the amount of touching, because if we have too much germs on our hand, oils, all that stuff, it can get sucked into there. So I'll put them down here on the table. So these guys are actually called Australian green tree frogs, but you'll see Jerry there's not overly green. Larry's a little bit. But they can actually go from bright green like this carpet to the dark chocolatey brown that they are, and they do that to camouflage.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we've got a chameleon at our zoo. His name is Winston. And Winston, he can change all bright colors and patterns. It helps him camouflage where he comes from. But these guys, they stay to just greens and browns because they're nocturnal. So they're sleeping during the day when we're having fun out like this and all the bright lights. Then at nighttime, when we're going to bed, owls are out. These guys are hopping around doing their froggy gymnastics.
Making noise.
Making lots of noise, croaking, trying to get the ladies' attention.
Be a good like white noise when you're sleeping though.
It's not bad. It can get a little annoying at times. Yeah, but when they're sleeping during the day, they'll make sure no one sees them, steps over, tries to hurt them, and eat them, right? So they turn green like the leaves or brown like the bark, pull their legs in, close their eyes, and look like just a lump on a log. Till the nighttime comes, that's when they get bright. They jump around and have fun, hopping around with their little friends. And you can see they got their little suction cuppy toes, smiling little face with some dirt on your nose. And my favorite part is these back legs. They could just hang all the way out, and even by just their toes. Look at this, spider frog, does whatever a spider frog can. Can he fall? Yes, he can. Now, I'm not being mean, just tossing my frog around, but he's a tree frog, and in Australia, they got big trees. And when he's jumping, he doesn't always land where he wants to, and crashes. Now, luckily, the forest floor is pretty soft, but like a cat, always lands on his feet, and he's got a round, squishy body, helps him bounce, but most importantly, their bones have hinges, kind of like a door. So instead of just cracking and breaking, their bones actually move inside their body. Oh my gosh. It's pretty fantastic. Hey, where are you trying to jump? And I gotta be careful, their defense is to pee. And it's not like, oh no, he dribbled in my hands. No, it shoots out that far like a super soaker. They usually try to aim for your face, so that's quite lovely. All right, should we put you back in your container?
We'll let you keep those ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them back before I get peed on. I'll bring out my cute little friend over here, 1 second. Whoop. Sticky little toes. Oh, we got 2 of them. So we got Teddy hiding up here being a ninja. Ah, come down, buddy. He's like, nope, don't want to play. And then his friend Jenny's back here. Here, I'll let you hold. Actually, I'll give you Jenny because Jenny's a little more calm. You can hold her. Yeah, go for it. She's got sticky toes. She's got sticky toes. You're fine. So these guys are called gargoyle geckos because they kind of look like little gargoyles on the castles. Okay. Right? And they got a little bony structure on their head. And look at those eyeballs.
I know.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah.
But they also don't have eyelids, so no staring contests.
Oh, okay. All right.
Grandmaster champion. You see his little tongue comes out, and that's what he does. He actually uses his tongue. They look like eyeballs. Yeah, he was
just licking his lips. He does have really
So if their eyes get dry, dusty, dirty, or I missed them with some water, out comes the tongue.
Is this his little ears?
Yeah, little ears on this side. Also cool thing is, I'll show it with Jenny because her tail's a little bit better for this. Their tails don't wag like a puppy's, unless we do this. But if we carefully,
Oh.
like a monkey, she's got a prehensile tail. She can actually hang from that tail. But we got to be gentle, because if we're mean and we pull on that tail, or we were ripping around like a helicopter, which we don't do, her tail falls off. And that's what's happened with our little friend Teddy here.
Oh.
Teddy here, you can see his tail's a little bit darker, right?
Okay.
And it's actually a little bit shorter. She ate his tail one time. You want to hold her again?
Well,
Yeah,
not
sure.
now that you just told me that.
No, I came back into the zoo one day and I went and looked at Teddy. Had no tail. I'm like, hey, dude, where's that thing that was on your butt there yesterday? And I go and look, and she's up in the top of the enclosure with a tail wiggling her mouth like a chew toy. So I just split them up. They only get
they don't have
supervised
teeth, do they?
play days. Well, no,
Like
little
just
little
sharp
ones.
kind of. Oh,
Yeah.
little, yeah.
These guys like bugs more than like a crested gecko does. But they eat fruit smoothie. They're pretty easy to take care of. No heat, no lights, and they live for about 15 to 20 years.
Their bodies are kind of cold.
Yep. They're ectothermic, right? So it's cold-blooded as a reptile. Okay. So whatever the temperature is outside is what they are. If they want to warm up, they go in front of the lights or the sun. And if they want to cool down, they go into the shade to go down.
She's a star. She?
Yeah. That's the she, this is the he.
Okay.
Yep. Jenny and Teddy. And they got the sticky toes because they're arboreal geckos. So they climb up into the tree. So that's why no issues holding on to them. And they also like to jump. Give us a jump.
This. Whoa!
Right? She's more calm than he is. He's a little spazzy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Ah, gecko down. Oh, it's always fun working with animals.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Can you take it back?
Okay. You sure? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they can be a little jumpy sometimes, especially Teddy.
Okay.
All right, well, let's put Teddy there. Let's bring out something a little slower, maybe calm you down just a little bit. We'll bring out my friend Simon here.
All right, he's slow.
Simon's pretty cute. Now, does Simon look like he'd be a swimming turtle?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. Wrong.
Swimming turtles like we have here in Manitoba, we've got our snapping turtle and our western painted turtle. They've got a light, thin shell, like a sea turtle, flat, and they got webbed feet for swimming in the water. Even look at this guy.
Swimming.
He's not used to being this high off the ground, so yeah, he's a little uncomfortable. We'll make sure he feels safe. But you'll see he's got stumpy legs with sharp claws. He's got a high dome, heavy shell. So he's actually a tortoise. He stays on the land. So a tortoise is a type of turtle, but they don't like swimming. If he's really thirsty, he might sip some water at the side of a river or pond, but he gets most of the moisture he needs from his fruits, veggies, and greens that he eats.
Okay.
For a tortoise, though, he's not very big. Have you heard of a Galapagos tortoise before? Yeah. Those guys get big, right? You put a saddle on and go for a ride. They live like up to 200 years. He won't get that big, luckily. Yeah, he's full size right now. He's about 14 years old, and he will live 75 to 100 years if all goes well. Oh, so that is the thing. He's cute, but he's a bit of a time commitment because he's gonna be around. A lot of people
plans for this guy.
put him in your will because he's gonna be around for a while. But as far as care, his enclosure is about twice as big as this table. He's got a little place for his salad, a little bowl of water for when he is really thirsty, hot lamp, and he's good to go. Come summer, he even has a pen to go play outside. But for a tortoise, like I said, he's not very big, but when he hatches his egg, he's only the size of a toonie. They're super like small and tiny and cute. And then as they grow, their shell grows with them. It's actually made of the same stuff you can feel in there. It's made of the same stuff as our fingernails and our hair. So I'll show you how he hides in his shell there too right away. It's pretty cute. He'll tuck his little head in here, puts his little feet up there, and he hides in, pew, wakes up in the morning. He'll go back in. That's where he sleeps, and his back legs going in his tail so he's not plowing along. So yeah, well, they're super cute. People get suckered into the turtles. People love turtles, but they always go to the store, they buy the cute little aquatic red-eared sliders because they're 20 bucks and they're super cute. But those little guys get even bigger than he does. Oh, they need a big pond, and we'll talk about them a little bit more because they don't make great pets. Tortoises can make it a little bit easier of a pet, though they do live quite some time. Let's put him away and see. Now, we haven't done anything. Actually, let's do this one first. This one's an interesting one. Now, it's not a snake, even though it's in a pillowcase. Okay. This one's a little different. This guy comes from a friend of mine's rescue out in BC, actually, Wild Education. And
I did not
expect that, right? He's called a blue-tongued skink because he's in the skink family of lizards, and if he shows his tongue, you'll see he's got a big, bright blue tongue.
He looks terrifying.
No, he's awesome. It's almost like a snake with legs.
That's exactly.
He is a northern blue-tongued skink. Skinks are found all over the world. We even have a skink here in Manitoba. Not a lot of people know that we have a lizard that lives here in a place that's frozen half of the year, but we have a little prairie skink. This guy, though, he likes it a little more warm, so he's from Indonesia area. Now, does he look very scary?
Yeah, he does. He really
okay,
does.
to you. In the wild, though, for most other animals, they'd be like, oh, look, a lizard sausage, I'm going to eat you. So one of his first defenses is to stick out that big blue tongue and start hissing. And in the wild, if something is brightly colored, like a poison dart frog, it's often venomous, poisonous, or dangerous. So most animals know if it's brightly colored, leave
Stay
it
away.
alone, stay away, exactly. So that's what he's trying to do. It's called mimicry. He's trying to trick them into thinking he's dangerous, but he's not. If that doesn't work, they're like, you know what, I'll take my chance. They try and go for him. He can lose his tail too and regrow it if need be.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why. It just gives me the chills.
Yeah. He likes to burrow in the ground. You can see how his long body would help with digging through the tunnels. And he's an omnivore, so he eats everything from salads to bugs to eggs to mice to everything. Yeah. Whatever he can fit.
Do people own these as pets?
Yeah. And people like them as pets because they're pretty social and interactive, somewhat intelligent, and pretty easy to care for as far as food and their caging accessories and stuff like that. They're kind of neat.
I don't want to hold him.
You sure?
There's no way.
Okay, fine. And the neat thing too is, watch this.
Oh, that tongue.
If he sheds his skin, he's not actually shedding it like a snake all at once. He actually sheds it piece by piece, which is a little bit different. The bearded dragon I had out here, he does big chunks. This guy does literally scale by scale, and then snakes often try to do one big, long shed. So yeah, let's put him back down in here, and I'll bring up the next one. I'll warn you, is a snake, but he's very friendly.
I'm okay with snakes.
So Patrick, my first snake was Neil, and then I got Patrick, and I got Harris, were my first 3 snakes after I had my bearded dragon. And when I got Patrick here, he was about 11 or 12 years old, so that puts him close to 20 years old now. Here, I'll let you hold on to him.
Okay.
So just support his body. Yeah, just like that. So he's called a corn snake. Do you think he likes to eat corn?
Oh gosh, I can feel his tongue. You haven't even taken me out for dinner yet.
No. But he's called a corn snake because if we look under his belly here, show the belly a little bit, you see it kind of looks like corn kernels or a racing checkered flag, which is kind of neat. But he's also found in farmers' fields, bins, and barns down in the United States where they have a lot of mice and rats eating the corn and grain. So farmers actually like having these guys around to clean up the mice and rats. And with that tongue, you know what he's doing with the tongue though, right?
Feeling, right?
Smelling.
Smelling.
Yeah, smelling. What he does is he wiggles it in the air, he collects the tiny particles of everything around here, and he rubs it between his eyes and nose where he has a little Jacobson's organ. It's kind of like a little computer in his head there. And it analyzes all the smells he's smelling, tells him when those smells is something he could eat, like a mouse or rat. And the cool part is you see the tongue's forked, right? It's not like a Y, it's not round and boring like mine. He can actually smell left and smell right, kind of how we hear left and hear right.
Yeah.
So if someone were to like start clapping their hand over on the left side, we know which way to look to see where the sound came from, just like him. If it smells more mousy left or right, he knows which way to go find his food. Imagine we could do that. It's like, where's the cafeteria here? We'll start going or driving, head out the window of the car. McDonald's, cheeseburgers over that. We wouldn't need GPS, right, for finding your food.
Look at, he's so curious too.
So compared to the ball python you saw was a little shorter, a little fatter. They're more sit there, look at them type of snakes, whereas the corn snake is a little bit more active. So if you want something that's a little more out and about and playing with, corn snakes can be great. They do feed a little more often, usually once a week or every other week. Whereas the ball python once a month, and you can just literally put it on your neck and it'll just sit there while you watch TV. This guy you'd probably be pulling out of the couch after a few moments.
How long do these guys live for?
These guys should live 25 to 30 years if all goes well. Yeah.
It's not as long as a tortoise.
Nope.
Might be better. Yeah. I'm so curious.
He's very curious.
He'd make a better bracelet than that.
He is quite lovely, yeah, and he feels really, really smooth for this one.
Yeah, he is really smooth.
All right, let's do something fuzzy. We haven't done anything fuzzy yet. What do you think I might have that's fuzzy under here?
A rabbit?
Well, we do have some giant bunny rabbits over there, but we're not going to talk about them right now. This fuzzy friend actually has 8 legs, and it's not a fuzzy octopus.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
What could that be?
Now, don't go running out screaming.
Okay. No, I'll do that when it's the birds.
When the birds attack. Okay. So this is my friend Choco. Here, I'll put her down on the table, then you get a couple shots of her. Choco is actually called a golden-kneed tarantula. She comes from Paraguay and Uruguay in South America. And I've had her since she was a small baby spiderling is what they're called. So I've had her now for about 7 years. The females can live like 18 to 20 years. Males are only going to live 10 to 12 years, I think, give or take. They don't get as long.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Now, with her, she's got defense. Do you think she woke up this morning and said, hey, let's go to the studio and bite a bunch of people?
Probably not. Nope.
Now, they just want to eat some bugs, play with their friends, get a suntan. Then we come along, we're like, scary spider should squish it, step on it, kick it, and she doesn't want to get squished, so she's going to defend herself. And she's nice enough not to just run up and bite you for no reason.
Okay.
Actually, the first thing she does to give us a warning, she'll take this back leg here, and she rubs it really fast up and down around on her abdomen. That's the big round bum part. Okay. And all the hairs on there that look like they're kind of fuzzy and fun to pet, they're actually not. They're barbed on the end, and so if they get on your hands and face, you'll be itching, kind of like if you've ever felt the pink fiberglass insulation that goes in your house. Same idea. So that's her first defense. If that doesn't work, I'll just pick her up here. She'll lift up her arms and legs to make herself look as big as possible. And she flexes those fangs and says, look what I got. They're pointy, sharp, and full of venom. If you don't leave me alone, I'm going to bite you with them. So I've now had 2 chances just to walk away and leave her alone. If I don't, I'm being silly. 3 strikes. I'm out. Yeah, Steve's out. She'll bite me, but luckily for me, her bite is no worse than a bee sting. It's between a bee sting and a mosquito bite. So as long as I'm not allergic, it might just itch and burn a little bit.
And a mosquito bite.
Yeah, somewhere between there.
Okay.
So it shouldn't hurt too much. It won't cry, hopefully. You don't need to go to the doctor. Not the case with all tarantulas. There's some pretty nasty ones, but as far as I'm aware, there are none that are deadly. Again, unless you might be allergic. Do you want to try holding her? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you put your heads both flat side by side, she's actually very, very delicate and gentle.
Oh my
gosh,
gosh, she's so light.
So being an arachnid, she's got her 8 legs, 2 arms, 8 eyeballs on top, and her 2 web slingers at the back. And unlike Spider-Man, who will shoot his spider webs everywhere.
Will she fall off?
No, she'll hold on pretty good. We'll be gentle though. Because if she were to fall, it can be quite dangerous for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want her to.
Because she's got what's called an exoskeleton, right? She doesn't have bones inside her body, so it's essentially a shell. And so when she has to grow up and get bigger, she actually jumps out of her shell and molts.
I want her to crawl.
But if we drop her, it's like dropping an egg. Her guts could come out if she were to break, so we do have to be very gentle. But I'll show you some of her little web too that I can pull out there in a second.
Oh my gosh, that feels so crazy.
Right?
And a lot of people have tarantulas as pets. Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to take care of.
And sorry, how long did you say they live for?
She can live 18 to 20 years.
Okay, 18 to 20.
Yep, and pretty easy to maintain. A couple bugs once a week, and that's it. Let's see if she'll let me pull out some of her web here.
Oh, so she. Oh my gosh, that's wild.
So it's not just a single strand, it's actually a whole bunch of little strands. And she doesn't shoot it out, like I said, like Spider-Man. She lays it down using those 2 little spinnerets to lay down and make a sticky net. So what she'll do is she uses it to catch her food. She doesn't really live in her web. It's not a house web. She uses it for catching her food. And if, let's say, like a little mouse or something comes and gets stuck, she'll run up, she bites it. And the cool thing is because she doesn't have teeth to chew her food, her venom actually turns the inside, all the muscles, the bones, the organ, everything like that, into goo, so she can suck it out like a Slurpee and spit away the body like an empty juice box container.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Sounds like some Mortal Kombat moves.
All right, well, we'll put her back in her little cage, nice and safe here. But look at this guy. This is Jabba the Hutt. And Jabba the Hutt is a Pac-Man frog.
That is the best name.
Yeah, he comes from Argentina. They're also called an Argentine horned frog, because you'll see his eyes. Stick out like little horns. See? So what he does is in his enclosure, it's just a big enclosure of dirt. That's why he's covered in dirt. And he digs a hole, covers himself up, and the only thing sticking out of the dirt is just 2 little eyes. And most animals don't see that. And then he waits till something comes by he wants to eat. It can be another frog, a mouse, a rat, anything he can fit in his mouth. His mouth, you'll see, is from pretty much one armpit right around to the other armpit.
His mouth, did you say?
His mouth, yeah, like armpit to armpit. So that's why they call him a Pac-Man frog. He's round and yellow like the little guy going, trying to eat the cherries.
Oh my goodness. And his little toes are kind of like the
They're good for digging. And so when he eats his mouse, like he'll eat a full-size mouth in 2 bites and suck up the tail like spaghetti. It's pretty impressive. And how he catches it is his tongue is super sticky.
I kind of wish you brought that. I would have liked it.
Let's see if he wants to bite my finger again. No, we're not going to do it.
Don't do it.
I was actually pulling the tarantula out of one of his enclosures, and he went beside it, went to grab at my finger, and I saw him hit the glass, and his tongue stuck there. And he pulls it in his mouth. I'm like, wow, that's so sticky. So then I'm not paying attention. I go to grab him. He does the same thing, bites my finger and spit it out. But that tongue
it would just be like the tongue. Or the tongue
is so sticky. It's like you wipe a glue stick. It's ridiculous.
Can you try?
No, I don't.
You said it. Now
no.
I feel like you've taken it back.
No.
Oh gosh! Okay, get the frog.
No, that was better. That was much better. Look at how fat he is. And his little toes. He's super
man.
Cute. All right, let's
got
get
a
your
face
chubby
only a mother
body
would
back.
love.
Yeah, and even then, I don't know how much she's of them. All right. Okay, we're down to the last couple.
All right.
So, next one here. These are other cute little geckos. You'll like these ones, I think.
Okay.
Here, I'll give you Peanut.
Okay.
So she's an arboreal gecko too, so she's got the sticky toes. And these are a cousin to the crested gecko, or sorry, to the gargoyle gecko that we first showed you there. So they too have beautiful eyes that they have to lick. But unlike the gargoyle gecko, if these ones lose their tails, they don't get to grow them back. No.
So that happened.
Yep. We've had little
no
baby
tail.
geckos that have hatched out of the egg. They look up at you like, ah! They jump one way, the tail goes the other. And like, well, there you go. No tail for the rest of their life. Or it could be a predator going after them, that type of thing.
I love the
I'm not
colors
sure
of
how.
them.
Yeah, they are. They come in different colors and patterns, which is pretty neat. Normally, if their tail's on, it's about yay long, and they can hang from it.
Oh my gosh,
like
I
a
really
monkey.
like it. He's so friendly. I think I found myself a new pet.
Yes. Well, and that's one of the things that we do is we do a deal with, like I said, the rescue. So these animals are surrendered to us, and ones that we have too many of are available for adoption. So for anyone that is looking for a pet, doesn't maybe want to go to the store or deal with breeders, we often have neglected and surrendered pets that are looking for homes, like these little guys.
Who would give you up? You're so cute. Yes. Okay, well, when you're looking for a new home, you just let me know.
Sounds good.
What do I do with him? Just
Oh,
snuggles? Is he big on being?
They kind of just sit there or try to jump out here. Blah. Yeah, he doesn't want to be back in his cage. Back in there.
And he's so soft. Like,
They are.
They're so soft.
And did you see when he walks, he
Warm.
like curls the toes so that they don't scratch you with the
Yeah,
little
I found
nails?
that too. Like, it was so gentle with
Yeah,
me.
it's pretty neat. We were here when we did the show with
My
you
favorite.
earlier. Yeah, we'll switch your size. We did the show with you for the holiday one, and we had them as
They're
little babies. Yeah, they were like bigger than my thumb.
That's not that.
This is one of them.
No.
Yeah, she's 4 months old now.
Oh, you're so big.
Yeah. So they've got their little quills, and then when they roll up into a ball, all the way in, all the way in. Our guys are so calm that they don't even really
They
like
don't
to
even get
ball.
scared.
But here, you want to try hold here? I'll go
Is it-
grab mom there one second.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Because mom will usually ball up for me.
Please don't bite me. Okay.
So this is mom. And dad's at home. He's a Guy Fieri, we called him, because he's an albino, so he's all white
Okay.
with the red eyes. But when they get scared, they usually zoop, 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 can roll up. Come on.
Can I put it down?
Yeah,
on
go,
here?
put her down. Our guys, we handle them and play with them so much. I mean, if you go to a pet store, you often see hedgehogs. They won't come out of their ball, and if they do, they try to bite you right away. But ours, because we handle them so much, you can see they
Yeah,
are.
that's what I was kind of worried about, but then I didn't.
And once they calm down, you see their quills all go back like that. But then when they get upset, like a little quilbert.
Oh my gosh.
So that's their defense. So these ones are called pygmy. They're from Africa, pygmy hedgehogs, because hedgehogs are actually found everywhere in the world except for North America where we live and Antarctica.
Okay.
Some in Europe get like porcupine size. They get pretty big. But these guys being pygmies from Africa are on the smaller side. In the wild, they only live like 2 to 3 years because everything eats them. But in captivity, they live about 7 to 8. In the wild, they're eating scorpions, tarantulas, lizards, snakes, high protein diet. So for us in captivity, we feed them just a high protein cat food. Nice and easy.
Is he smart enough to not go off the side?
No, they don't have a very good understanding of depth perception. So
Okay.
yeah, I gotta kind of keep an
Would
eye
you
on there.
say like hamsters and hedgehogs would be good, like little pets to have? And stuff?
Hamsters, not so much because they do tend to bite a little more. Even though anything can bite, they're just more prone to biting with them.
They have a
also
mouth
only live.
they can bite. I learned that from you last
Good
time.
job. But they only live like 2 to 3 years. And the biggest thing is they're nocturnal, so they don't want to be up during the day and they're in a wheel all night.
Yeah.
Whereas hedgehogs are actually crepuscular, which means they wake up in the morning to hunt when it would be a little cooler in Africa. Then they sleep in the afternoon when it gets too hot.
Okay.
And then they go hunting again in the evening and then sleep through the night. So they're a good pet for the kids that way.
So even better.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
All right, let's put these guys back in their cage. All right, the last one we're gonna do is Phoebe. And Phoebe is a Dumerel's boa from Madagascar. Now, here in Winnipeg, there are rules on what type of animals you're allowed to have as pets. No boas and pythons over 2 meters, no venomous, no monkeys, all the fun stuff, right? So while Phoebe is technically over that limit and would not be allowed in the city, we had her before 2014 when that bylaw was changed. So we were able to grandfather her and she comes out and does education for us. You can pet her, she's very friendly. So Phoebe here is called a Dumerel's boa from Madagascar, or a ground boa. Madagascar being that big, awesome island.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All the fun stuff happens. They got a lot of cool creatures like the lemurs. But she doesn't spend a lot of her time making an effort to hunt. She's more of an ambush predator.
Okay.
So she just sits and waits. While she looks very beautiful and stands out here on our table, in Madagascar with all the dead brown leaves and stuff, she would hide really well into the brush. And if we look at her face here even, you'll see her pattern even goes right through her eyes to help camouflage even her eyes there.
Definitely.
So she just sit and wait until using that tongue, she smells something comes by and might be a bunny rabbit and big kiss, hug, wrap it, and then eats it all.
Can I feel how heavy she is?
Yeah, for sure. So one hand right about here,
Okay.
one hand right about here.
Oh my gosh, she's huge.
She is very,
Or
yeah.
should I have another hand? Like,
If you want to wrap her around,
okay.
the thing with these guys is being being a ground boa, she
Oh,
likes
she's
to have her
aggressive.
body supported.
Okay.
If she was a boa constrictor that climbed trees, she would have a really long tail
Yeah.
for wrapping around, but she stays on the ground, so her tail's actually
I can't
very
believe
short.
how heavy she is. I'll just
She
do
weighs,
my,
I think, like
lunges.
27 pounds, give or take, the last time I checked it.
Was this like what Britney Spears had around when she was dancing?
She had that was a,
Boa constrictor?
no, she had a Burmese python, that's what it was, an albino Burmese python.
Gosh.
Pretty cool though. And so she eats only once every 3 months or so. I feed her about a 3.5 pound rabbit. So again, everything we feed is called frozen fod. So I buy it from the pet store, bags like chicken fingers, and we thaw them out. And she eats it whole. It takes her about 15 to 20 minutes to get the whole thing in. Well, this is one of the last animals I wanted to just introduce you to right now. What we'll do is we'll come back, we'll learn about a couple more animals, maybe even go on a visit and see some these other exotic animals in Winnipeg.
I love that.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check out our next episode.
Thanks, guys.